Hey everybody, welcome to the channel, glad to have you here. Today we have a Norsca on Dwarves matchup. I feel like this is a matchup I've been playing a lot lately, but I figured I have been kind of not showing you guys a lot of Dwarves, so giving you some Dwarf love lately. I do have a just Marauder with great weapons line here. Supporting them, I do have two Fimir warriors with great weapons, one Fimir warrior, the Miststalker Regiment of Renown. I have two Marauder hunters with their throwing axes, who will be helping, sort of. Over here, I do have a Skinwolf Werekin to kind of give these Miststalkers a little bit more armor and missile resistance with his Ruinous Flesh. So he does give 16 armor in a radius, and then also 11 missile resistance in a radius. Over there I do have a Shaman Sorcerer of Metal, great pick against the Dwarves, for obvious reasons. Over here on each side I do have a Norscan Warhound and a Norscan Ice Wolf. And I brought these guys specifically the Ice Wolf specifically to deal with Slayers, because they just have a ton of weapon strength, and their stats aren't that bad, and charging into the back of Slayers they'll do pretty well. Slayers do cost 1100, these guys do cost like 750, so they're approximately the same in price. The dwarf player here has a main line of dwarf warriors. He's got some rangers here and some iron drakes with trollhammer torpedoes. He has one slayer out on each side. The giant slayers, these are the armor piercing ones with giant hammers. They're super cool. And then over here he does have just some dwarf warriors in the back line like that pick. And then he does have Ungrim over here and a Thane over there. So nice job splitting, keeping that Encourage aura kind of on these two segments. And then I think a great bring here is this Skyhammer. It does drop a ton of bombs, do a ton of damage. It has 150 armor, but more importantly, it has that 1,000 armor-piercing missile damage. So it's really helpful at taking out large targets. And really, there's not much Norsca can do about it. Marauder Hunters kind of suck. So it does pretty well. And really, the only air, I guess they could bring Manticores and that big frost worm. But so you can see Wulfric's going to come up here. I'm going to be trying to get some good boats this game. I did bring him on the chariot just to give him a little bit of mobility. And in this case, it'll do very well to keep him away from Ungrim, because I don't think I'll win that fight, because Ungrim does have 125 armor. So, you know, not going to go too well. Oh, but actually you can see he does have long beards intermixed in here, so much tougher front line than I originally expected. Hopefully I'll be able to boat them. You can see nice giant slayers are going to pull up over here. I think I'm going to pull up and try and get a nice boat. I'm not being super obvious about it at all. Where is it? Boat? I don't want to miss it. Oh! There we go. So you can see not doing all that much damage, but you can see it. Look at those like chains coming off it. Oh man, it's super cool. I'm surprised that didn't do more damage, or at least like disrupt a little bit. But you can see it did a little bit. The dwarves have such high mass, it doesn't really throw them around. Over here, I think I missed some bombs being dropped on my Marauders. We can kind of watch. So nice targeting here. You want to target low armor infantry with this guy. This is where he'll be most effective. And then when he has his gun, you want to target the big stuff. Come on, drop another one. Are you out? Oh, you got one left? Oh, look at these guys. Getting bombed. Not the best bomb there, but it did take out a good chunk of them. And then you can see I've got my full surround. And then over here, I'm going to be charging straight into the back of these Slayers. So this is exactly what I wanted to do. I want to just chunk these guys. And you can see I'm just doubling up. I probably should have ran them up and around, though. And you can see my main line is going to engage here. Now that I am engaged, I'm going to bring in my kind of large targets. Hope they can close the distance a little bit quicker. And you can see Wulfric is over here just trying to help out this fight, but being someplace where he can run really quick. And then over here you can see my Norscan Ice Wolves are going to be charging in the front here, and I'm going to try and pull these Warhounds straight through onto these Rangers, which is really what I should have done over here as well. These Marauder Hunters, and I think he realized his Iron Drakes were a little bit too close. I was pulling these guys up to target them, but he does pull them back as well, so they're not going to be able to get too many good shots off. I think they're actually going to run into this line here, and I'm going to have to pull back. You can see Gehenna's Golden Hounds coming down here. And you can see these Frostwolves are not doing too bad against these Slayers. They're doing okay over here. They are kind of winning. But Norscan Ice Wolves plus Norscan Warhounds, that's approximately the same price as Slayers. So pretty even trade there. You can see these guys in here just like eating some Slayers alive. You can see over here, especially with Wulfric's help, my these Dwarf Warriors are crumbling. And then you can see here, I did have to pull those Marauder Hunters with Great Weapons out. But you can see just, look what those Trollhammer torpedoes did to my Mist Stalkers. Just melted them. And so you can see me pulling around some excess. Great weapons. But these guys, I really don't have anything to stop them. You can see those Mist Stalkers, a very expensive unit, have been rocked off the field. And these Giant Slayers are helping to kill these Fimir Warriors, which is not good. And then I think this unit over here is the healthiest. But those Rangers have turned around. The back lines are now free. You can see Wulfric just kind of going wild in here with his Fimir buddies. But you can see now my Marauder Hunters are throwing axes, not very effectively, at the Rangers. Golden Hounds coming down, trying to take out those this like pocket of resistance. And I did, I guess, a decent amount of damage. But definitely these Rangers here. You can see over here, I did pull my Werekin through, trying to shut down some of this stuff. The Ice Wolves are coming back as well. You can see my Marauders Hunters just trying to throw into the back of this blob, take them out. You can see all those axes are coming through. But again, not the best unit, these guys. You can see they're just struggling to get through anybody that's shielded, which makes sense. Now you can see these guys are free, so I'm starting to envelop. It's looking okay. He still has that Skyhammer, but I've just got a lot of cheap shit left. I've got these Marauder Hunters. I've got a decent amount of Marauders with great weapons. You can see these Dwarf Warriors are coming up. I have kind of dealt with the Slayers. These Giant Slayers are still kind of around. Hunters of Champions plus Plague of Rust drops this guy down to 28 armor, so it means Wulfric will actually be able to hurt him. And these Marauders with great weapons are ready to come up around as well. But you can see these Iron Drakes trying to find an angle. You can see beating this Frostwolf, who's like the size of like two of them, with their cannons. Okay, so you can see it was just this was just a nice old Norscan surround. Not a lot is left in the middle, but I kind of won the flanks here, I think. And I was able to push through. I don't really have much left in the middle except for my ranged units, which is why this is also kind of a good place. Because even if he wins this fight and he kind of turns to go fight my other flanks, that's just exposing him to these guys. Even if you lose the middle, if you have ranged units back there to support against the dwarves, it just stops them from turning and doing whatever they want. You can see here, still got that Skyhammer. You can see him opening up on this Werekin. You can see Slayer's just like dueling this guy. This is a pretty good death for Slayer, fighting a Werekin. Making a route off the field. And yeah, it's just the last stand of the Slayers and the Slayer King over here. You can see it takes a long time with all my like armor-piercing, slow attacking stuff to kind of deal with Ungrim. And you notice here, he's not getting knocked over at all by these large targets, which is super cool. I definitely like that kind of change in SFO. They make it a lot harder for these guys to kind of be thrown around. Because you can see, I don't think he got knocked over there once by any of those large targets, which was super cool. But here, yeah, you can see my Marauders with great weapons did okay. My Norscan Warhounds, whatever, but my Ice Wolves definitely helping to take out the Slayers. If those Slayers had gotten into my Great Weapon Marauders or my Fimir, it would have been a really bad time. So these guys kind of trade cost effectively with them. Wulfric Thrander, of course, doing well. Skinwolf Werekin and the Shaman Sorcerer helping out. But you can see they have 200 kills on the Skyhammer. It is a like 1,600 gold unit, so it's very hard for that to make it pay for itself. But I think it almost always does. You can see these Slayers getting a decent amount of kills, and definitely MVPs those Iron Drakes. It's just the Dwarf Warriors here couldn't deal with the excess kind of Chaos Warriors with great weapons over here. Or sorry, Marauders with great weapons. I am playing Norsca. Anyways, thanks so much for watching, guys. That's that.